Hello again, everybody. It is time for a very exciting lecture and interview today. Today we're going to be interviewing some actual folks who are working out in the field in the medium of radio. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have our guests introduce themselves and talk about how long they've been in the field. So if you could share your name, your job title, and how long you've been doing that, that would be really great. Do you want to start first, Russ?
Sure.
Okay.
My name is Russ Barrett. I went to MSU back when it was SSU in the early 90s. I've been working in the professional radio field since 1995, and I've been here at KKCK for about that long, at 1997. So mostly on my end, I'm just more recording clients for commercials because I'm mostly on air. I don't do a lot of sales stuff, but I do record clients and sometimes help them edit, copy a bit, and polish things up a bit in the production studio when we make commercials.
Okay.
Claire Schweer, and I'm a sales account executive here, so I'm a sales rep. I graduated from SMSU in December of 2014, so I've been working here since 2012 as a board op, and then I worked my way up and fortunately enough got hired on full-time. I work one-on-one with the clients. I write the copy, so I write the ad for them. I go over it to make sure they have everything that they want in the ad that fits into a 15, 30, or 60-second description. Mm-hmm. And then we give that to the DJs, and they take over from there to edit it and put it together.
Okay.
Unless the clients sometimes come in and want to
Yeah.
record things themselves.
Yeah.
Or we have some clients who like contract out, and like, I can't remember who it was, but somebody brought in a friend of theirs who had been in the radio business a long time ago. The Mattress Barn, that's who did it. They brought in a friend of theirs who had been in radio for 20 years and got out of it, but still had, a radio voice, as it were.
We also have companies that will just send us the
Yeah.
ads, so that's the easiest one.
I get a lot of them, but there's not a lot I do with them. Mostly it's just people fishing for interview opportunities.
Oh, okay.
But we do get some press releases for like events like this over here, the Prairie Home Hospice Auction and Ball. That was kind of started as a news release, and they sent us the flyer, and that's something we can mention on air, or you handle a public file.
Actually,
a little bit
I
for
was just
public
thinking about
service
that.
announcements.
We have a community calendar wheel, so with people who want to advertise and promote stuff like that, that gets put on there. It's also for blood drives.
Okay.
So many of those, I just can't really even have time to look at all of them because I'm deluged. But usually what catches my eye, if it's something that seems like, if it's interesting to me and interesting to the listeners, more so the listeners, but also has to kind of hook me as well.
Okay.
Well, if it's for a brand or a press release, you want something that's going to grab the audience's attention. Because there's a lot on the air, but you definitely want yours to stand out. And you kind of want to, what I like to do with my clients is mold it. So I ask them, what age range are you looking for? And gender doesn't always play a role, but if it's for a certain thing, it will. So you just have to use keywords that are going to stick out to those people.
Okay.
Definitely the who, what, where, when, why.
Yeah.
So much the who, what, where, when, because sometimes you'll get a press release, a lot of info, and then they'll give you the exact date or time. That's just frustrating.
That's the biggest challenge, is if there is a lot of information, you have to shorten it down to where it's all going to make sense still, but still is very informative. Something that they can relate to is a lot of things that they can catches them, like, oh, like that sounds like me, or yeah, that might be something I'm interested in, or I know someone, if it's for a cancer thing or blood drive, if you know someone that's had to do that, you kind of reach out to those people.
Okay.
So
That makes sense.
yeah.
And from a performance of it.
Now, sometimes they'll want to get into the nuts and bolts of what it supports, or some of the more advantages of it, or proceeds from this have helped blah blah over the year. But it's like for the community calendar and public service announcements, we get 30 seconds for those. So we really can't cram in a lot of stuff. I mean, I've had some experience cramming a 40-second commercial into a 30-second sack, but I prefer not to do that. But yeah, we just got to kind of get the who, what, where, when, how of it right in there. And if we have time for a little extra descriptive stuff, we'll get that in there. But for the most part, we really got to kind of hammer the main details of it. Once get the people there so they can learn more about it there. We don't exactly have a lot of time. We've had organizations come in for like hockey fundraisers or whatever, and they'll have this really creative ad that'll have like 2 or 3 people in it, and they'll talk about all the things they're going to do, and they'll talk about what's going to be served and all this stuff. And I look at them and I'm like, well, that's great, but that's 90 seconds. You got to trim 60 of that out. I've had to do that before. It is, sometimes we can do a public service announcement for 60 seconds, but in terms of you know, we have commercial logs. We got to give priority to things that are paid for. So a 60-second is a lot harder to squeeze in than a 30. If there's absolutely nothing else they can cut out, but really 30 is very preferred.
Yeah. One of my biggest challenges is not getting enough detail sometimes. Like, they'll give you just the basis of it. That maybe takes up 10 seconds, and it's like, I've got 20 other seconds. I don't know exactly with the message you want to get out there because it's not my organization, it's not my business, so it's hard for me to BS stuff.
Comes with age.
Yeah. I mean, I could, but then it's like, well, this might not be what you guys want, so, because I'll get some ads for PSAs that it's literally just telling me like what it is and when it is, and that's it. So I've got 10 seconds there.
So you have to give enough of a description that we get a little bit of a sense, but don't think you can give them the whole farm.
I would advise people just to maybe kind of, I wish more people would do this, if they are sending something that's kind of written out, to time it.
Oh.
Talk out loud and time it. That would save us a lot of
some people actually practice it with a stopwatch before they come in. We love those people.
Yeah. It's hard to determine what should be cut out because it might all be valuable information. So for a liquor store, there are some brands that have naughty words in them.
Yes. I remember that.
I guess I didn't catch this at first. My boss did because I had just started. So I'd written the ad with that word in, and my boss is looking at it, and he's going, as much as we'd love to promote.
Is that the B word one?
Yeah, that one. It's a wine. Because this ad was just all around that brand, and you know we can't promote that one because we can't say that on the air. So.
Well, that's a tricky word. It's like